Good morning, my friends. I can't see my camera right now, but I'm blinded. There we go. Morning, my friends. It is probably around 8:30, and I'm out here trying to get a morning walk in and get those sun rays in my eyes, as you can clearly see, for that circadian rhythm I keep hearing about. And you're supposed to do it again in the evening time as the sun sets to get the sunset rays in your eyes. I'm very consistent with the morning walks. Not as so consistent with the evenings, life, but I do try. Anyhow, I am excited to make this video for y'all today. Catch y'all up on what I've been up to with as far as, strength training. And I want to talk to y'all about some changes that I've seen in myself that goes beyond just healing diseases, right? Just some changes that I've never really thought about. And I didn't really contemplate them until Chris made a comment to me last week. And his comment to me was this: Susan, since you started this lifestyle and your channel, I've noticed your personality is changing. And he meant that as a compliment, by the way, guys. And let me tell you about what he's noticed about what he meant by that. Before all this, I hid myself away in our home. Never wanted to be seen by anybody. And to be fair, I still don't want to go out and have people stare at me, but who does, right? But I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to socialize with anybody. In my mind, and I know that this sounds bad, but in my mind, I just thought it was better off if I just didn't socialize with anybody. That I wasn't worthy, and I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm just going to say worthy to, nobody, I just felt like nobody would want to be around me, just a lot of low self-esteem feelings about myself, okay? And I'm not the only person to have them, but that's just, how I always felt about myself. And I was always a private person anyways. I would have never shared half the stuff I share with you guys on YouTube, okay? And now there is a reason for me sharing it with y'all on YouTube. I don't just walk around and tell people, strangers on the street, this stuff. I share this stuff because I think it's important for people to know. That way they don't remain ignorant to the fact that they can reverse certain diseases and all that on Carnivore. But having said that, I would have never done that. I would have just kept it myself and been like, well, if they want, and my thought would have been, well, if they want to do it, they can research it, right? And if they want to try it, try it. And that's still true. If they want to try it, and they can do the research. They need to do the research. But now, my personality is, I want to tell people. I want to get it out there, be another testimony, encourage people, because the more people testify to what Carnivore does for them, the more others who are hearing about it will be more comfortable to trying it, because there's such a bad stigma about it. But the more that testify about it, that stigma will decrease, and more people will try it, more people will see it, okay? So there's some reasons behind it. But still, Carnivore has changed my personality. I'm enjoying life again. Look, 2 years ago, would I be out here right now walking? Nope. In fact, I'd probably still be in bed, other than my job, but if I didn't work that day, I'd be in bed. I certainly wasn't going to be dressed and outside walking, that's for sure. Now, let's get to the strength training part. I've said before that when I was a teenager, I used to love lifting weights. And I used to love to run. Now, when I say I love lifting weights, even when I was a teenager, I can tell you right now, I didn't know anything about lifting weights properly. I just like to do it to get that soreness feeling in my muscles. Of course, I didn't know why at the time I liked it. I just thought it was weird. There is actually a science behind that, but I won't get into that in this video. But there's a reason why people, they like that soreness feeling, because it's not a bad sore. It's a good sore, but that's what I liked. And I like to run. And I don't know at what point in my life I stopped doing that stuff and I stopped liking it. I just know that I went in a downward spiral with my life and my food, and here I am. So anyways, when I started my strength training back in January, I just thought, well, I'll probably fall back into loving it. I loved it when I was a teenager. Nope. That's not what happened. And y'all know that too. Y'all know I tried to do this strength training thing in January to raise my HDL, because my HDL is being stubborn. And, you know, Dr. Berry says if, if your HDL don't raise from dietary change alone, it's likely a genetic issue, and you need to make sure you're increasing your fat and implementing strength training. So that's what started this whole thing with me in strength training, right? Well, you know, truth be told, I needed motivation. I didn't have a desire. What I was trying to do in January through May was not out of my own desire. I was trying to force it, and I failed, you know. And then I joined a Facebook group at the beginning of July called Iron Sharpens Iron Push-Up Challenge, which I told y'all about. And essentially we just do 100 push-ups a day. You don't have to do 100 push-ups all at one time. Don't worry about that. But that's what we do. And that group has been really, really good for me, guys. They motivate me. They cheer me on. They don't look down on me because I'm not able to do what they're able to do. And let me tell you something. There are some pretty fit people in that group, and they can do some really intense stuff. Well, in my opinion, intense anyways. It's always impressive to me, but they still cheer me on, encourage me, and celebrate me as if, you know, what I'm doing is just as good as what they're doing. And in some ways, it is. Okay? But anyways, I don't want to get into all that. Point being, having that motivation is what kept me going through the month of July to do the push-ups. Because at first, yeah, I was forcing myself to do the push-ups too. But because they was cheering me on, it made me want to do it again, another day. Hey, let me do it again. You know, yay, they cheer me, let me do it again. And it kept me going. And then one day, I did 300 push-ups in one day. Not all at one time, but in one day I did. And I felt that soreness that I remember feeling when I was a teenager the next day. And I liked it. And I was reminded of why I liked that weightlifting when I was a teenager. And so I made that comment in the Iron Sharpens Iron group. And they explained the science behind it. So I like that. So I needed that motivation to get me going. But let's take it another step further, guys. It's been 2 weeks since I've implemented my fat to protein ratio change. And since doing that, I feel like I've had a lot more energy than what I did before. Now, I did have more energy before this than I did before I started any of the carnivore lifestyle 2 years ago. That's true. I just thought, though, that I had all this energy. I didn't realize I still didn't have quite as much as what others talk about having. And I'm pretty sure it's because I just was not eating enough fat with my meals, even though I thought I was. So, now it could be coincidental. It's still only been 2 weeks, you know. I still only had one day where I just felt blah. And that was what I talked about last week. But otherwise, I've had a lot more energy. And when I talk about a lot more energy, not only am I doing the push-ups every day, except for Sunday. I designated Sunday as my day of rest, where I don't do anything. I just rest. But other than that, I do them every day. But I've been doing squats. I've started doing sprints again. I'm doing some bicep curls. Now I say bicep curls. I'm doing my version of them. I'm not confident on my form on any of these. You know, I'm learning. I'm a beginner. But as long as I'm not hurting myself, that's not my total focus point right now. My focus point is I'm doing them. And I am looking into doing some exercise for my abs and my core. I have a very weak core. And, you know, and I'm going to call him my friend. I don't know him in person, but I'm going to call him my friend. And I met him in the Iron Sharpens Iron Facebook group. His name is Jody. And he gives me some tips. You know, he's got a background in this. And by the way, he has an Instagram account. So if any of you watching is interested in seeing what Jody's about, I'll put his Instagram in the description below. You can check him out. I don't think he's got a YouTube channel, but I do know he's got Instagram. But anyways, he's really nice, and he gives me tips. And I actually started trying to do crunches, so I need to find some kind of ab routine that doesn't affect my lower back. And what I mean by that is, like, my lower back cannot be rubbing against the floor, or it bothers me. And so I tried crunches, and I realized, oh, I can do these crunches. It don't bother my lower back. And so I commented that in the Iron Sharpens Iron group. But he told me, hey, Susan, don't do crunches. They're a waste of time. And they're bad for your spine. Now, I don't know much about I don't even know what the word you call it is. I don't know much about different exercises and what's good for you and what's bad for you. You know. So he gave me a demonstration video of what he suggested me to do. And I can't think of what they're called right now. But I told him I'm trying them, and I'm going to be trying them today. So I don't have anything in that way to show you on this video. Like I have my push-ups, my squats that you're seeing in the background going on. But even if I do try them, it'll probably be a while before I'm willing to record it and show y'all, because even though I'm not trying to be a trainer and direct other people on how to do these things, that's not what I'm showing y'all, but I still have a level of, you know, I don't want to be embarrassed. And I don't know how I'm going to look on video doing those exercises he's recommended, but I am going to try it. Anyhow, I appreciate Jody very much for his help, because I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I just know I want to do it. And that's what I want to tell you. The desire is there. Like, there's like a bit of a fire in me now that I want to get out and do these things. And it's kind of reignited. And it started too with all the motivation from that group, but it's really kind of lit up since I've changed my fat to protein ratio. And I've had all this extra energy. And I'm just amazed about that, guys. And it makes me think. You know, I've always said, well, I must be the laziest person in the world. Because before all this, even 2 years ago, heck, I dreaded going to the grocery store and just walking up and down the aisles. Like, how lazy do you have to be, right? And I'm realizing, though, that a lot of this was not laziness. Now, it is true for the kitchen. I don't like to cook. I hate it. I don't think I'll ever find a passion for that. No matter how much fat I eat. But I'm realizing, though, what I used to love when I was younger, I still love. I'm still out here and I'm loving the exercise that I'm getting. And so now it makes you think, you know what? Maybe all that wasn't laziness. It was just fatigue. And I just didn't realize I was fatigued all these years. I just thought maybe, you know, I was just getting older, right? I mean, to some of y'all, you might say, well, you're not that old yet, you know, but I'm 42, I'm going to be 43 in March. I'm not in my 20s anymore, so when you read it like that, yeah, I'm getting older. And that's just what I chalked it off to. But now, Carnivore has showed me that's not entirely true. Yeah, sure, I'm not in my 20s, but I'm nowhere close to where to the age where fatigue is normal. The fatigue that I had was not normal, and it was brought on for all the unhealthy dietary choices I lived on. And so that is exciting to me, to really have that acknowledgement in my own mind, to say, you know what? Yeah, you're not in your 20s, but you're not an old fart. Get up and get going. And I'm enjoying it. And what I want to say to you is this. Look, you may not have a desire to do strength training, and that's okay. I think overall for our health it's good for you, but that may not be a passion of yours. But what if you look back in your life, is there a passion of yours that you love to do, and just all of a sudden one day it just seems like it just left, and you thought, well, I'm just too tired to do it anymore? Maybe it was outside doing a flower garden. You know, there's people out there who love to work in their yards like that, but they just don't have the energy to do it anymore. And what if all it took was your dietary change? You know, Carnivore doesn't heal everything, no. I don't know what illnesses that you're battling, but I'm talking about in terms of fatigue. What if you changed your life, your dietary life, and you found that you could have the energy to do the things that you love, find joy in life, and no longer find that joy in food? That's what I did. I always found my comfort and joy in food, stuffing my face, not truly knowing just how bad I was killing myself. I knew I was eating garbage when I ate a candy bar or ice cream or cake or pie, you know, but to have that true understanding of I was killing myself, no, not really. I didn't really have that understanding. which blows my mind now, but I won't get, that's a rabbit trail I won't go down right now. But just think about that, guys. Is there something in your life that you would love to do, and then also one day you just thought, well, I guess I'm getting older, so I just don't have the energy for it anymore? Maybe you're watching this and you've been watching a lot of channels on carnivore, and you're just not really sure that you believe all the hype. You think it's all hype, and look, I get that, okay? There's that saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And I still believe that that saying is true in most cases. But I'm telling you guys, yeah, carnivore doesn't heal everything. But when we talk about more energy, and when we talk about all the healing that it does do, it's real. And you can watch the blood work. Look, anybody can push record and tell you all kinds of lies. I get it. You can't believe everything on the internet. I get that, okay? But what you can trust is the blood work. When we're posting the blood work and we're showing the dates of our blood work, okay? You can trust that, because the blood work, it doesn't lie. It doesn't care what you're trying to influence, right? It's going to tell you the truth. And so, you can trust that. And look at the doctors. And it just seems like more and more there's more doctors talking about the carnivore lifestyle than what there used to be. It's catching on, guys. So, all I can say is, give it a try. See if you don't get your energy back. Because 2 years ago, I would not be out here walking. Nope. I'd be hiding from the world, still 300 pounds, still diabetic, still having kidney disease, and now none of those things are true of me. No longer diabetic. I'm no longer got kidney disease. I no longer have fatty liver. Still have some weight to lose, yeah. But I'm healthier, I'm happier, I'm enjoying life as God intended us to do. And we only got one life to live, so what are you waiting for, guys? Well, my friends, it's been a pleasure. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.